Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Festive United People's TV. Don't say I don't treat you well. Look at that. We've got a Christmas tree. We've got the Grinch in the corner. We've got a little bit of tinsel on Ronaldo. I mean, I've gone all out. It took me about 25 minutes. It took me ages to get all of this done. How are you all doing this morning? We are here to talk about Ralphie Ragnick. What's going on? Why is he not already in Manchester United, at Manchester United's training ground? I am going to be speaking to you about all the updates on Ralf Rangnick, when we can expect to see him, what's going on with the Arsenal game, what's going on with this weird work visa situation. I don't know. What I do know, I'm going to run through all the updates with you from Paul Hirst from the Times, from James Duckett from the Telegraph, and from Mark Ogden from ESPN. There is a rogue conversation that we've got to have about Roberto Mancini that I wasn't expecting to have. We're going to be speaking about that. We're going to be speaking about Manchester United's December fixtures. And we're going to be taking a look at the starting 11 for the game tomorrow against Arsenal. All right. I can see all of you down in the comments here. Peter, big up to you. Hey, look. That is, if you won't be able to see his face, but that is Archangel Ragnick. All right. Old Ralf Angel. He's there at the top of the tree. And we're going to get to the top of the league with him. We're going to win everything. We're going to win all the trebles every single year. But, well, we're not. But it was a good idea. So I did it. I hope you like it. It's good. We got Puck. We got Mix Show watching from Cornwall. Good morning to you. We've got everybody watching all around the world. But look, it's festive. There are going to be a lot of giveaways on this channel over Christmas. You know about these giveaways right now for the Ronaldo shirts. Should be treating that with a little bit more care and respect, shouldn't I? But giving away Ronaldo shirts every single week here on United People's TV. I've been giving away like 2 a week at the moment. It's literally I am Santa Claus. They're exclusively for members. So if you're a member on YouTube or Facebook, you get entered into the draw every single week to win that. And I'm still figuring out what I'm doing for the giveaways throughout Christmas, but there will be more giveaways on top of just those CR7 shirts. Jeez, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But let's get into the news, because only Manchester United seemingly can manage to announce a new manager that can't manage our football club. It makes me laugh. I'm not really laughing inside. It's frustrating. It does make me a little bit angry, but it is what it is with Manchester United. So let's take a look at what the latest developments and the situation really. It's not really developments as such. It's like, what the hell is going on? Why is Rangnick not in charge? I'll run through the facts and figures for you so you don't have to. Here we go. Manchester United. Ralf Rangnick is in the UK, but Michael Carrick is set to take charge for the Arsenal game. Now, we already know that Michael Carrick has been confirmed by Manchester United. He will be in charge of the game against Arsenal. No matter what goes on with Ralf Rangnick in the next 24 hours, he's not going to be in charge for the game against Arsenal. And even really, if we're being completely honest, we're cutting it damn fine for the Crystal Palace game. But I'll get into that in a little bit more detail. Scroll down here. Blah, 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 blah. Ralf Rangnick has arrived in the UK. So Rangnick is here. Rangnick has arrived, but he will not be in charge for the game against Arsenal, which we now know. The Times understands that Rangnick flew in from Germany in the last 24 hours, and this article was published yesterday at 12:45 in the afternoon. So it looks like he has got in ahead of the new rules that came in place. And this is quite important because those new rules that got in place meant that there would be a self-isolation period required for any new arrivals in the UK. Goddamn COVID, man. I'm bored of COVID and then Omicron, whatever this weird villain in a Marvel film his name is. Omicron's here, so all the face masks are back in. They're mandatory in England now in all public spaces, on public transport again. I'm so done. I'm so done with COVID, but COVID is not done with everybody else. So that's complicating things massively. If the Home Office does not grant the 63-year-old his visa over the next few days, he will be unable to be in the dugout for Sunday against Crystal Palace, and that would be fuming. But this is quite an exciting little bit here. Rangnick may be in the director's box for Thursday's match and could have some kind of input into how the team is set up. He landed in the UK before Tuesday morning when new laws were implemented that required all arrivals into the country to self-isolate before a negative PCR test. And this bit here makes me laugh, right? And this is the beauty of journalism, right? You've got your man here, you've got Paul Hirst saying, look, he arrived before Tuesday morning, so he doesn't need to apply to these new laws that require isolation before returning a negative PCR test. And we skip over to Mark Ogden at ESPN, who's saying he might not manage until mid-December. Mid-December, get over that, seriously. Ralf Rangnick could be forced to wait until mid-December to officially start his role. And look what he's saying. The Rangnick arrived in England on Tuesday and must now isolate until receiving a negative PCR test. So you've got Mark Ogden and Paul Hirst both saying quite literally the complete opposite. They're both, well, according to their sources, one source is telling them that he arrived on Monday and the other one is saying he arrived on Tuesday. Well, I don't know which is true. If Paul Hirst is correct, I'm hedging my bets with Paul. But it's effectively what you got to do. Like journalism, who you trust is like a gambling game. It's like a game of roulette. Who's got the best odds of being right? It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. But when it comes to viable solutions, there with a comment just kind of stood out to me. There's no laws in stopping him from being invited to the club to watch training, and he could be pulling the strings already, Sam. I think there is. That's called legally not being allowed to work. And if Manchester United were found to be doing that against the law, that would be huge. Man United won't do that. But it's something that I personally feel he had an influence on that team that was selected against Chelsea. Not directly in terms of getting on the phone to Michael and going, Michael, right, put Bruno as your false nine, put Ronaldo on the bench. I don't think it was as direct as that. But I think that Carrick had it in mind, the fact that Rangnick's coming in. Of course he is. He's about to have a brand new boss. Why would he not do something to impress the new boss? Why would he go? It's not as if Carrick's going to put out a completely different formation and not do anything to do with the pressing game. And that's what I mean about the team being influenced. I'm going to run through my predicted 11. I did it yesterday in the video, but let's speak about it live this morning. You can let me know your opinions on it. But yeah, according to Paul Hirst from the Times, he could be in the director's box, and that'll be cool. It'll be nice to see him there in the stadium getting a welcome. That'll be cool. And then anything down in that article is a bit pointless. But just to try and clarify this whole situation up a little bit more, I want to run through an article from Sam Wallace from The Telegraph, where he basically explains what this whole messy situation is and what it's about. I'll tell you what, it just sounds odd. It sounds so weird. And what I would say at this point, I find it very odd that Manchester United find themselves in this situation. Sorry, there was something on my screen. I thought it was on my face. Anyway, I find it odd that Manchester United are in this situation. Surely we knew this was going to be the case. Surely we knew this was going to happen. Or maybe we didn't. Maybe we're that ignorant to it all. And again, that wouldn't surprise me, really, considering this is Manchester United we're talking about. But let's head over to this article from The Telegraph, again, which goes into a bit more detail to explain it to you. Just to explain it to you. Ralf Rangnick will miss Manchester United's game with Arsenal as he is forced to face an independent panel over a work visa. Now, what does that actually mean? It means he faces, a Football Association appointed independent panel in order to gain his Home Office work permit, as his recent career out of coaching means he does not meet criteria automatically. And there is a possibility that Rangnick's application may already have been put in front of the panel, although United or the FA, neither of them have confirmed that was the case. So basically what it is, he has to go in front of an exceptions panel, a governing body endorsement, and yeah, it's down to post-Brexit. Post-Brexit, cheers Brexit. Thanks very much, anyone who voted out. Thanks very much indeed. Managers coming from the European Union need to demonstrate they have managed at a high level for a minimum of 5 years. Now, in reality, all this is going to do is just delay Manchester United. That's very, very United, as I said, to somehow appoint a new manager and not be able to have him as a manager. Let's scroll down here. But yeah, having announced that Rangnick would join the club, United are confident that the panel will approve Rangnick's application. But this made me laugh a little bit. I mean, I shouldn't be laughing, but I kind of am. The panel will be chaired by a legal professional and 2 other members drawn from football. Imagine it was someone who's a City fan and someone who's a Liverpool fan. Ralf, you haven't quite met the criteria. I know you've had you're wonderfully experienced, but at this moment in time, my friend, I'm sorry, we just can't give you this work permit. Come back in a month or 2, and I'm sure we can do it at the start of 2022. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen because they have to be completely objective in this situation. But it's literally a panel of 3 people, 1 legal professional and 2 from the football industry. It makes me laugh how this situation is, if I'm being completely honest. Anna, I saw you there joining as a membership. You resubscribing, rejoining. Big up to you, my friend. You're entered into the draw. Everybody knows by now the Christmas giveaways are going to be serious here on United People's TV. Every single week, I have been for the last couple of months, giving away at least one of these every single week on United People's TV, a CR7, the new home shirt. And as you know by now, this is not from the Mega Store, and the Glazers are getting absolutely zero money from United People's TV, but you are getting the chance to win that. All you got to do, hit the join button on YouTube or hit the support now button on Facebook. Join the private members WhatsApp group as well. It's a great place to be. Love to have you on board. Gary, you said it's a load of absolute bollocks, Sam. Either you're talking about my giveaways, which I don't think you are, or you're talking about this whole situation. Yeah, Gary, it is. It's really, really odd, isn't it? It's very, very Manchester United that we seemingly in this situation where we've got a manager, but instead of having our interim manager in before we get the permanent manager in the summer, we've got to now stick with our caretaker manager who was there after our manager was sacked. And it's like a merry-go-round, as I said, like a magic roundabout of managers. And it's odd and it's weird. But that's the situation sort of explained completely for you. As I said, Manchester United are confident that Rangnick will come in. But if we're being completely honest here and realistic, right, it's Wednesday now. Rangnick's not going to be in charge for the game against Arsenal on Thursday. We then play on Sunday. That's only 72 hours after. And in terms of this system that Rangnick is going to be building, it's going to be young boys. Young boys are going to be the first game I think we can genuinely expect Rangnick ball to be given its first outing, because I don't even think it, even if, well, it's Wednesday now. That's another 48 hours between now and the end of the game against, between now and Friday morning, for example. If Rangnick was on the training ground on Friday morning at 9 a.m. and he had 2 full days of training with the squad to get used to the team, cool. We might be able to see elements of that against Crystal Palace. But the reality is that I don't think that's going to properly happen. And then we can only really, truly expect it against young boys. And a big up to Michael Carrick as well for making this happen. But that game being a dead rubber against young boys in the context of Manchester United's season, yeah, that's worked out perfectly. Because it might be a game where we play again in European football. There's a bit more space. There's no pressure on United. It's at Old Trafford. Rangnick's first game properly in charge. I mean, as I said, I think his first game in charge will be against Crystal Palace. But the first game where we can properly expect to see Rangnick ball, I think, will probably be the game against Young Boys. But yeah, it's very United, isn't it? Very, very United. Chijoki is saying, how can I join the WhatsApp group? Chijoki, the WhatsApp group is private, just for members only. It's one of the perks of being a member. Like, I try and read more. I always give, when I read comments out, I always look for members' comments first. That's a perk of being part of the United People's TV community, the inner circle. And it's only a WhatsApp group for members only. So if you want to join, my buddy, hit the support now on Facebook. And then if you go into the Facebook private supporters group, there's a link in there to the WhatsApp group. Simple as that. The Young Boys game is, oh yeah, Jesus, forgot about that, Gary. I completely forgot about that. Let me pull that up as well. Jesus. Mate, just everything with United right now is a bit of a joke, isn't it? Man United, Young Boys. I completely forgot about that. That's not confirmed at the moment, but for those who don't know the story, my God, I've got an itchy nose. For those who don't know the story, let me put it up here for you on the greatest Manchester United news website that exists. That'll be thepeoplesperson.com. Not biased at all. Not biased. But Manchester United's final game, Champions League game with Young Boys, may have to be moved due to COVID-19 regulations. And the reason that is the case is because because of the new the COVID, man. What? My God, my nose is so itchy. What is going on? Because of new... my itchy nose is making me lose my place. Because of new... What's it called? My mind's gone completely blank. Anybody flying back into bloody Switzerland needs to isolate for 10 days. I swear, this is just making me lose my mind. I'm so bored. So bored of COVID. Can it just get in the goddamn bin? All these different isolations, different vaccinations, different laws, different days, quarantine, vaccinations. You can't go there. Wear a mask. I don't know. I'm bored. Omicron can get in the bin. Seriously. But that is what the case is. So if that game against Young Boys is moved to a neutral venue, it's because there's new rules in Switzerland. That means anybody who flies back into Switzerland will have to quarantine for 10 days, I think, or isolate for 10 days. and therefore young boys won't do it. So if that is the case, it has to be moved to a separate venue. Oh, jeez. Wow, that was exhausting to do. I completely lost my... Go away. Don't want to talk about COVID. Don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about that. Oh, Jesus, I don't want to talk about Mancini, but I think I have to. That's a bit random. Get tested, Sam, says Phil. No, so just a little itchy nose. I don't know why I've got itchy nose. Maybe I need a drink of water. Maybe that'll sort me out. But yeah, what do you think about the set? What do you think about my Christmas festive vibes? Got a little bit of tinsel around the edge. My good mate Grinchy, he's down there holding the little bauble. 24 days to Christmas. Ooh. We might have to do a Christmas party here on United People's TV at some point. Maybe we'll just get drunk. I think that sounds like a good idea. And what you're saying, I was a bit concerned by Ralph's statement about improving the current squad. It suggests no signings potentially. Do you think he will be wrangling in the changes? I think that he will probably be given the opportunity to sign someone in January. But I think that defensive midfielder makes perfect sense. As I said to you all along, he needs one person in the dugout alongside him who knows the pressing game inside out, and that's the assistant. That's not going to be Lars Kornetka, and we don't know who that's going to be. But he needs that assistant, and he also needs that one person on the pitch, that person who can be his general on the pitch. And whether that's Amadou Haidara, whether that's somebody else, I'm sure there'll be other midfielders or other players we're linked with. It's going to be someone. And I think we need that someone in January. And it would make sense. And if Man United are now on a long-term plan, then giving Rangnick, might be an interim manager, but giving him 30 million to spend in January makes sense when that signing is going to be signed as part of a system and as part of a plan that whoever comes in next will still use those same players. And that's exactly the comparison I would have there is when Rangnick brought Leipzig up to the Bundesliga, and then Hasenhüttl came into the team and used the exact same system, the exact same players, and stormed it in the start of the year. I think they finished second that year, and I think they unbeaten the first 13 games. Poiler, you're saying the set looks great. Yeah, there we go. Grinch should have Ed Woodward's head on it. Now that is the best idea I've ever heard. I might do a little Ed. I don't want to ruin my screen with Ed Woodward, but I like it. United Festive HQ. That's exactly what it is. Josh, you like the idea of the old Christmas party? Why not? Your hair is a bit darker in the picture in the back, Sam. Oh, you see my little picture? Look, there he is. There's little mini Sam with a red ball. Look at that. I don't know why I've got that up there. I just ran out of things to put in the studio, so that went there. It is what it is. I think my hair was blonder when I was younger, actually. My hair gets blonder when it gets sunnier. What do you know? But yeah, there's a comment there from Sanjay. Mancini report. I mean, I don't know why we got. I know why we got to speak about it. I don't really want to speak about it, but I'm going to speak about it. Exclusive. This is from James Ducker, so I can't ignore this, right? Roberto Mancini is a surprise contender in Manchester United's managerial hunt. Renil, quick super chat from you, buddy. Do you think Ralf will change the transfer policy of United, signing unknown European talents and improving them? Now, Renil, I actually want to do this. I might start doing the research today. I think I've got a little bit of time on my hands. I want to start looking in. I'm probably going to do a video on like 10 players that Ralf sort of identified and signed that went on to become fantastic players. Because if we're being honest, Manchester United's scouting department for a long time simply has not been good enough in identifying key young talents. I think Leicester have taken the mantle over the last few years, if I'm being completely honest. The way that they've got Kante from the French league, French obscurity, the way they got Mahrez. They got a lot of players that they've signed that have gone on to become fantastic players. Like in the way that they replaced Maguire with Soyuncu, I think it was. And he ended up being a fantastic replacement for him as well. It's good. They've done very well, and we need that back. And Rangnick has a history of doing it at multiple clubs. So I'm probably going to do a video on that. I think he was... well, yeah, that's true, actually. I think he was referring to that. But anyway, that's a little picture of me when I was a kid. What do you know? Any Haidara news? Robert, the latest on Haidara is that Manchester United are expected to be sending out scouts to watch him. I'm going to hold back on doing a video on Haidara. I'll do a full story video on Haidara when the story develops a bit more. At this moment in time, it hasn't developed just yet. Oh my God, my nose is so itchy. Do I think Rice is still going to be on Manchester United's radar? Asks Aaron. Maybe not so much. Certainly not for the price. The price for Rice is not right. And therefore, Manchester United did not go for him in the summer. And I don't think we will go for him again until that price comes down. And I'll be honest, I think Rice has actually come on a lot this year. Rice, for a lot of people, My God, it's the itchiest my nose ever been. For a lot of people, Rice simply wasn't good enough. But let's all agree, right? And let's all hold our hands up, even those who doubted how good he was, and say, look, he's been very impressive this year. Rice has really come on quite a long way. And I think, for me, he's looked more towards that 60, 70, 80 million pound player, far more than he did last year. And I've got to give him credit for that. He's really shone. And especially when you look at if you compare like all the other England players who are in the Euro 2020, like how many players have come out of that tournament and actually gone upwards. Like Rashford's gone a bit down. Shaw, obviously, Maguire, Bukayo Saka hasn't hit the heights. He, on the other hand, has gone woof, vertically upwards. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure whether I want him for that amount of money, but I don't think he'll be on the radar. I think, as I said, someone like Haidara, you can see we need someone like Fabinho or someone like Naby Keita or someone like Fernandinho or someone like Haidara. That's going to be the player that we're going to be looking at. Let's go up here and let's talk about Mancini. As I said, this is coming from James Ducker. And this is him saying that Mancini is a surprise contender to take over the managerial job after Ralf Rangnick. Now, what's your immediate reaction to that? You fire in your comments and I'll try and answer as many as possible. But let me read the news out for you first before we get into this. Roberto Mancini has emerged as a wild card candidate to take over the Manchester United role next summer. The former Man City manager could be one of several names to come under careful consideration for the position by the Old Trafford executives. Now, this bit blows my mind here because, of course, he's in charge of Italy, right? And won Euro 2020 with Italy. Italy were fantastic. Italy went into that. They were like 40 games unbeaten or something ridiculous like that. And now they're on the verge of not qualifying for the World Cup. They need to, who they got? They're playing North Macedonia in their playoff semi-final, but then they're going to play Portugal in their final. And the only way that Mancini becomes available is if they fail to qualify. So basically the only reason that Mancini would be in consideration for the job at Manchester United is if he fails somewhere else. I mean, that sentence, it's a bit stupid, really, isn't it? It's a bit mad. Why would that be the case? That's not when you want to bring a manager into Manchester United. You want to bring a manager into Manchester United when they succeed, not when they fail to qualify for something else. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So I personally, I understand and I appreciate that Mancini has had a lot of success in Italy. He is a good manager, but no, thank you. That's not what I want for Manchester United. I'm sticking to my shortlist, and we all know what the shortlist is, and it's a very short list. It's actually what a shortlist should be. 2 names on it, Pochettino and Ten Hag. What's the point in going anywhere else? What's the point in talking about anything else? They're clearly the 2 outstanding candidates on that list, and we're going to have a debate about this as the season goes on. You know that, right? We're going to be having videos on Ten Hag. We're going to be having videos on Mancini, but I'm not going to be doing a video. I hope I'm not going to be doing a video on Mancini. Right? If the stories keep developing, you know I will. I tend to avoid doing videos with too much opinion on United People's TV. I try and be as factual as possible. Sometimes I can't hide my opinion, but sometimes I can. But I won't hide my opinion on this one. No, thank you, Mancini. It's not just the fact that he managed Man City. I just don't want Mancini. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'll go down here in the comments and we see what you're saying about this, right? Quick question says, Daryl says, how do you know that Rangnick has landed? We head back over here for you. For those who didn't join in earlier in the stream, this is from Paul Hirst from the Times. Rangnick has arrived in the UK. Rangnick has indeed landed. So the question isn't about whether Rangnick has landed. The question is about when will he get that bloody work visa? When can he go to the training ground and actually start being Manchester United's manager? That's the question now, not when he's going to arrive in the UK. That is already done. Alberto, look, yeah, that's exactly there. I appreciate Mancini. Good coach. Well done. Won Euro 2020. Did something special with that Italy team. Stay there. Enjoy yourself. Don't want you at Manchester United. Does that not also apply to Poch? Although, as he's not won nothing. Look, Pochettino is somebody who I know massively divides opinion. Massively divides opinion. For as good as he he is and the characteristics and the attributes of his managerial style that would suit Manchester United, ultimately he hasn't won anything. And ultimately that's going to be the trump card that always comes out in an argument about Poch or Ten Hag. I mean, obviously Ten Hag's won the Eredivisie, but that's the Eredivisie, right? But in the same sense, Pochettino somehow managed to come second in a one-horse race and lost the league to Lille on the last day of the season with that PSG team. So there's arguments to be had about all of them. But in my opinion, Mancini should be nowhere near that shortlist of Manchester United's next managerial choices. That's my opinion, and I hope I'm right. What we're going to speak about now, this is going to be an interesting part of the show. So make sure you drop a like on it. Drop a like on the video, by the way, for that Christmas tree. Took me ages. I say it took me ages. And Santa's little helper yesterday that was helping me do all those lights and do all those baubles. And we've got some more decorations coming as well. The lava lamps up there. Mate, this studio is coming together very, very nicely. It's cool, isn't it? I'm glad that we've all built this together and you've helped me do it. So big up to all of you. But drop a like on the video for Archangel Ralphie. He's sitting there at the top of the tree. He's having a good time. But look, let's talk about this team against Arsenal tomorrow, right? Do you think that Ralph's going to have an input? I think he'll have an input. Whether it's direct or not, we don't know that. I mean, technically, legally, he can't have a direct impact. But this is the formation that I went for yesterday when I did my starting 11 show. And I said that I thought it was Shaw. Look, Shaw is the only real question I think you've got there. If you really, really want to, you can probably put Shaw down there if Manchester United are playing it safe. And if we're being completely honest, I thought Telles actually played very well against Reece James. So maybe Telles will play there. But that was my starting 11. Let me go back to what my actual starting 11 was, and let's just leave Telles on the bench for now. We can have a little debate about Telles. But I thought it was going to be a back five. I thought Maguire was going to come back in for Lindelof. As good as Lindelof was, I just think it's going to be Maguire. That's my own personal opinion. And I think this is where the difference is going to come. Look at that formation and that shape of that front six. I think this is what it's going to be. This is going to be the start. This is going to be the moving towards the Rangnick ball. We're not going to see too much, right? Because, these circles are getting on it. Why can't you ever just click that and then move it? That makes no sense. They've got to improve this website. Oh, there you go. You can right-click it and move it. See? I'm learning on the job with you. But look, I think we're going to switch away from... So if we're looking at the formation, right, that we played against Chelsea, it was that, wasn't it? That wasn't Ronaldo. That was Matic. You had Sancho over there. You had Rashford over there. You had Bruno operating as a false nine. And it wasn't Ronaldo on the pitch there. It was Matic. That's what it was against Chelsea, right? And it worked, right? I think a lot of people were frustrated with how little opportunities Manchester United had. But I think it worked against Chelsea. And if it wasn't for that rash tackle, if we're being completely honest, from Wan-Bissaka, then Man United probably would have just won that game 1-0. Would have been a great result. I still think it was a good result. But I think what we're going to see here is a switch away from that and a nod towards this Ralf Rangnick system. And that's going to be... Now, look, I might actually do a video today. I was thinking about this earlier. I did a video already on what I thought Manchester United's starting 11 would be under Ralf Rangnick. And you know what formation I went for. I went for this formation. I went for Rashford up front there with Cristiano Ronaldo. Went for Bruno down there on the left. Yeah, I went for a 4-2-2-2, which is the most typical formation that Ralf Rangnick has used in his career, right? That's what I went for. But it's not the only one. So what I might do in a video later today, I might do a video saying, right, let's look at every formation that Ralf Rangnick has used in his career at Hoffenheim, at Leipzig, and at Salzburg. And let's see, so that if we were to rank them in how many times he's used that formation, and then see how Man United could sit inside all of those formations. I might do that because we need to look at the tactical flexibility of Ralf Rangnick, as well as what might be his strongest starting 11. But in my opinion here, as I said, I think we're going to switch to this 4-2-2-2. Bruno and Sancho, they're probably playing in their best positions there. Bruno can drift inside a bit, drift outside a bit. He can press with intensity there and not leave too much space because he's got Fred just behind him and Ronaldo just behind him. Rather than if he's in this position here and he presses there or presses there, he leaves so much space. So much space. And as I said, I think Ronaldo, I'm not really too worried about Ronaldo inside this Rangnick system. Because I told you, I keep saying it, Ronaldo will press the spaces rather than the player. Fred will run straight at a player and trying to win the ball off him. Ronaldo won't. He'll try and cut the passing lanes. It's a different type of pressing. It's a pressing which requires a little bit less intensity. You've got to cover a little bit more ground, but also it's a pressing which requires a little bit more intelligence, which Ronaldo has in abundance. We've got Siasman saying Van der Beek in for McSauce. Now, of course, this could happen. And if you looked at my actual starting 11 that I think would shine underneath Rangnick, this is what I did. I did have that. Did I have Fred or Van der Beek? It didn't really matter. I had Van der Beek and Fred there as a midfield two together. So, yeah, that's exactly what I thought could happen. But let's see what happens. I think McTominay, somehow, I was a bit confused, if I'm honest. McTominay was named man of the match by Sky against Chelsea. I don't think it was man of the match. I thought Fred played actually better than him. But, yeah, I would put Van der Beek there. You would put Van der Beek there. But also, this system will actually kind of suit Scott McTominay. It will suit a lot of our midfielders. It's not a system which massively relies on a pure out-and-out defensive midfielder. It relies on dynamic, moving central midfielders. And that's someone like Amadou Haidara. He might be someone who can play defensive midfield, but he's somebody who plays across all the midfield positions. Someone who moves around a lot. Someone like Fabinho, someone like Naby Keita. Someone who could do that role that Manchester United simply don't do. Let's see the questions flying in here. I'll read a few of them out. Adam, what are you saying? Van der Beek and Haidara. If Haidara comes in, that could work for sure. But I'll be honest, I think it will be Fred and Haidara if Haidara comes in. Fred is somebody who you basically just got to accept it now, right? This man is going to be in every single starting 11 we have between now and the end of the season, right? Between now and the end of the season, it's going to be Fred there. There's a comment there saying, in my earlier video, you did have McTominay in the lineup. Oh, did I? Oh, I'm confused. I thought I had Van der Beek and Fred when I did my video on like his ideal strongest 11. But in terms of my 11 to face Arsenal, yeah, McTominay is my predicted 11 for the Arsenal game. McTominay and Fred as a midfield two, Bruno and Sancho as a two attacking midfielders, and Ronaldo up front with Marcus Rashford. Now, that could be Greenwood. That could be, if we're being completely honest, Edinson Cavani. If we're looking at a pressing system, you're not going to get a better player than him, Edinson Cavani. But you're also not going to survive that long with a strike partnership that's 70 years old. Fred does work his socks off. He does. Fred is a king of pressing. He'll be as I said, Fred will go nowhere. He's going to be in that starting 11 between now and the end of the season. Every game he is fit and available, right? So you just got to start accepting that. Carl saying you're watching a different game. We were lucky. De Gea made a lot of saves. They hit the post at least 3 times. We were damn lucky. Carl, I would say they had a majority of opportunities, not that many clear-cut chances. They had a majority of the possession. I don't think they threatened overall too much. De Gea did make some key saves. Of course he did, but we took our opportunities. We went there and set up like that. And it worked. It completely worked. You might not like it. You might not like, I'd rather see United dominating the game, scoring 3 goals, having 30 shots, and only concede. Doesn't happen in football. Chelsea was such an informed team, absolutely pumped Juve 4-0 during the week. And we went with a more tight defensive unit to hit on a counter-attack. What happened? We were tight. When did we score? We hit on the counter-attack. It was a system and a style that worked. And it would have worked even better if Wan-Bissaka didn't give that absolutely ridiculous penalty away. Victorin, what are you saying? Van der Beek and Dalot must start over McTominay and AWB. I would say Wan-Bissaka's. I had him down as the most improved player this year. Yeah, that's worked out. Wan-Bissaka's at threat under this system, I would say. I would definitely say he's at threat because what you really, really, really need, what Rangnick will need, is his fullbacks doing that. Because you're going to get you're going to get really narrow here. You're going to see Man United sort of dropping in like that. Sancho sort of coming inside rather than going on the outside. So it's going to be down to Wan-Bissaka and Shaw or Telles and Dalot. It's going to be down to our fullbacks to really, really open the width up. Really open the width. Adam, you're a big fan of the Christmas tree. Hell yeah. Hell yeah for the Christmas tree. Hell yeah for Ralf Angel. Ralf Angel? Ralphie? I don't know what his name is. You got to name him, right? Send me the names on Twitter. My Twitter is @SamPeoples_, and I'll choose the best name. I'll put my Twitter account in the comments now. Send me your name for Ralphie, and we'll choose a name together, and I'll announce it on the stream tomorrow. Oh, now a couple of you were asking if I'm going live tomorrow with my arm show. I've been thinking I'm not confirmed this just yet, but I think what I might do is that show is all about the members. It's all about giving the members the opportunity to come on screen and talk to me. I'm considering making that just a members only show behind the scenes. So it simply is just us members having like a more of an informal chat before the game. As I said, I want to start doing content like that really is for members only, because the members, for me, they're the core of the community, right? So I'm thinking about making, the arms private rather than a public show that anyone else can join in. It's not my way of ruling you out, but it's my way of, as I said, giving something to members only. So I haven't decided on that one just yet, but I thought I'd let you know that because I'm thinking about it. But if I go over here and we have a conversation now about what's coming up in December, because it's going to be a busy month. Victor and look, say no, don't do it. Look, I know you all want to watch Victor, but as I said, it's going to be I know everyone wants to watch it. It's going to be my way. I'm going to start doing member only and exclusive videos because I have always said I will. And for me, it might be a way of doing that. Not undecided, though. No, undecided, right? If we go down here, let's have a look at the members. The December fixtures we got coming up. Man, it's such a busy time, isn't it? We've got Arsenal tomorrow, 8:15. By the way, the kickoff times of all of these games are absolutely horrendous. Nearly all of them, anyway. Arsenal on the 2nd. 3 days later, Crystal Palace at home. 3 days later, Young Boys. Well, we know it's at home at the moment, but we don't know. Then we've got Norwich away, 5:30 on a Saturday. My God, what a grim kickoff that is. Grim. And then you've got Brentford 3 days later, 7:30 away on Tuesday. Then you've got 18th, you've got Brighton. Then you've got a 9-day gap. Wow. There's no United game on Boxing Day. There's a 9-day gap in December. That's pretty much unprecedented. Unprecedented, really. And then we've got Burnley at 8:15 on the 30th. Ugh. That's also bad as well. That is also a bad game. But look, this is what Ralph's got coming up. And I tell you what, man, say it quietly, but that's a really good run of fixtures. That is a really good run of fixtures for a new manager to come into. We've got Arsenal, Arsenal the toughest out of that. Palace, who are good. Sometimes they may be good, sometimes they may be shit. That's what I would call Crystal Palace. Young Boys, dead rubber game. Norwich, I mean, they're put. You saw the game yesterday. Brentford away, that's not going to be easy. That'll probably be one. Actually, no, I'd probably say Brentford is, I'd say the second hardest game behind Arsenal. All equal. And then we've got Brighton at home, Newcastle away, put Burnley at home. Put. That is a run of fixtures that Ralf Rangnick will be rubbing his hands together for. That Man United fans should be rubbing their hands together for. That is a run of fixtures that we can get a really good set of results out. And that's why I want to get Ralf in as soon as possible. To give you a quick recap of what we've talked about this morning, Ralf Rangnick is in England now, okay? He's arrived in Manchester, but he's not our manager just yet. I mean, the club's announced it, but he can't legally manage our club until he's got that work visa. The delays behind that are all to do with post-Brexit, because inside the UK, a manager will automatically get a permit to work if he's worked enough in high coaching positions in the last 5 years. And it's the fact that Ralf Rangnick hasn't actually been a coach. It's the fact that he's moved into sort of sporting director roles, and of course the director of communications, I think he was at Lokomotiv Moscow. Now they're all going to be taken into account, but that's why it's going in front of a panel. It's ridiculous that it's reached this situation, but it is what it is. It's Manchester United, right? We wouldn't expect anything less, would we? Come on, it's not United if it's not a circus somewhere. But look, that is the situation that it is with Ralf Rangnick at the moment. It's not a case of panicking. It's a case of just, unfortunately, sitting on our hands, being a little bit frustrated and waiting. Hopefully, he's going to be in the director's box tomorrow night. That's what we're seeing and reading from Paul Hirst from the Times. That'll be exciting. But as far as the team selection goes, it's going to be up to Carrick from the training ground. But in my opinion, it's going to be massively influenced by Ralf Rangnick, whether that's directly or indirectly. I think we're going to be seeing. My prediction for the game tomorrow is I think we're going to see another switch of formation going to the 4-2-2-2, Ralf Rangnick's most used formation at Leipzig. Now, of course, we might not see that and we might see something different, but I think we will. That's my opinion on that one. But look, I'll wrap this up today because there's not any more news here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Don't say I'm too good to you sometimes. Yeah, only sometimes. But look, the Christmas tree is up. The tinsel's on Ronaldo. The Grinch is letting you know It's 24 days to Christmas. The festive set has been made. And we've got a cracking set of fixtures coming up. We're going to have a full Ralf Rangnick month with Ralf Engel up there. But remember, you get the names in for him and send them to me on Twitter. We'll choose that one tomorrow. Remember, if you're not a member and you want to win this every single week here in United People, I think I'm giving away 2 every week actually for the last 2 weeks now. I'm getting more excited because it's Christmas. I'm giving away at least one of these Ronaldo shirts every single week to one lucky member here on United People's TV, either on YouTube or on Facebook. On YouTube, all you got to do is hit the join now button, and on Facebook, just hit the support now button. Or if there's no buttons there for either of you, there's a link in the description of both videos. It's your way of putting a couple of quid into the United People's TV every month. As you can see, it helps make the sets. So it all does go back into the channel and to prizes like that. And trust me, there's going to be more giveaways that I'm getting organised. I'm organising them today. Woo! Jeez. Thank you all very much for joining in. Craig, I can see you did join a bit late, my friend. But look, you can go and watch the stream back. That's all right. But look, thank you very much for joining in today. I might have another video out today. I'm unsure. Maybe I'll wait until tomorrow. But tomorrow's the game against Arsenal. It won't be Ralf Rangnick's first game, but hopefully he'll be in Old Trafford. I'm looking forward to that. But have a cracking day, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the set. Make sure you send me the names for Ralf Engel, and we can choose one together. But take it easy, everyone. Hope you have a good day.